Welcome to part 1 of a two-part series entitled Beloved Prophet Moses, Vegetarian, the Divine Redeemer and Messenger of God. Beloved Prophet Moses, Vegetarian, is a sacred figure in several religions, including Judaism, Christianity, Islam, the Baha'i faith, and the Druze faith. He is regarded as a prophet, a leader, and a lawgiver who played a crucial role in the history and development of these Abrahamic religions. According to the Hebrew Bible, Moses led the Israelites out of slavery in Egypt and received the 10 Commandments from God on Mount Sinai. He is also credited with writing the first 5 books of the Hebrew Bible, known as the Torah, or the 5 books of Moses, which contain the foundational teachings of Judaism. The exact date of Moses' birth is not known with certainty, but scholars generally place his birth around the 13th century BC. Egypt during Moses' time was a powerful kingdom in North Africa and the Middle East. It was known for its sophisticated culture, including architecture, art, and writing. The Nile River, which flows through Egypt, played a vital role in the country's economy and agriculture. According to the book of Exodus, a new pharaoh, referred to in the Bible as Pharaoh, had taken over the throne. He began to fear that the children of Israel were growing in numbers and becoming powerful enough to take over the country. Therefore, he decreed that the Israelites should be treated as slaves and made to work in the building of roads and cities, including the construction of grand buildings and monuments. Then, he gave orders that all male children born to an Israelite woman should not be allowed to survive. A young Israelite woman named Jochebed and her husband Amram were delighted with their newborn son. Born into a world of genocide, the baby boy was raised in fear. His parents were determined to protect their son from Pharaoh's cruel command, so they hid him in the house for 3 months until he became too weak to hide. With a heavy heart, the young woman made a covered cradle out of dried reeds, which she made waterproof by wrapping it with tar and clay. Moses had one older sister, Miriam, and one elder brother, Aaron. Accompanied by Miriam, their young mother went to the banks of the river Nile to float her 3-month-old baby son in his waterproof basket. As she watched her son hiding among the bulrushes, she was overcome with sadness. Miriam stood nearby to watch what would happen. Meanwhile, Pharaoh's daughter, who is identified as Bethia in the Midrash Rabbinic biblical interpretation, came down to the river to bathe with her maids. The princess spotted the cradle and knew it contained a Hebrew child. When she looked at him, she was overcome with compassion. Moses' sister, Miriam, then stepped forward to suggest finding a wet nurse among the Hebrew women to look after the baby. When Miriam fetched her mother, the princess was delighted to employ her to take care of the baby. In time, the princess adopted the infant as her son and named him Moses, which means to draw out, because she drew him out of the water. In Hebrew, his name is Moshe Rabbeinu, which means Moses our Master. Although Moses was brought up as an Egyptian prince, he never forgot that he was one of the children of Israel. After a tragic incident involving an Egyptian, Moses left Egypt and went to the land of Midian. While Moses was resting near a well, the daughters of Jethro, the local priest, came to draw water for their father's flocks. When the local shepherds drove them away, Moses intervened and helped the women fill their water jugs. Their father was so grateful to Moses that he gave Moses his daughter Zipporah in marriage. One day, while he was tending to his father-in-law's sheep and goat people, Moses led them to the holy mountain of Sinai. He saw a bush burning, but to his astonishment, the leaves were still green. As he walked closer, he heard a voice coming from the bush.
Moses, Moses.
It was the voice of God. He was ordered to remove his sandals as he was treading on holy ground. Moses trembled and covered his face with his hands.
Here I am,
he replied. During a lecture in 1999 in Istanbul, Turkey, our beloved Supreme Master Chinkai, vegan, explained that God can manifest himself in different ways, such as how he appeared to Moses on the mountain bush.
God is the light. God is the love that we feel. God is the music of heaven. Can manifest himself in different ways, like Moses, and the voice of thunder, the sounds of many water, the sound of trumpet, and all through the voice of the angel, as our prophet, peace be upon him, has heard it, or in the burst of flame, big light. These things you can also experience. That I can promise. This is God who manifests in this kind of way.
God told Moses that he was responding to the pleas and suffering of the Israelites by asking Moses to go to Pharaoh and tell him to let the Israelites go. Moses' reaction to the divine call was ambivalent. He was ready to serve, but he doubted himself. God reassured Moses that he would not be alone. His God would be with him. God identified himself as Yahweh, which means His who creates, and instructed Moses to call her by this name. When Moses continued to be reluctant because of his speech impediment, God proved He would always keep His word. In Exodus chapter 4, verses 10 to 12, Moses said to the Lord,
Pardon your servant, Lord. I have never been eloquent, neither in the past nor since you have spoken to your servant. I am slow of speech and tongue.
The Lord replied,
Who gave human beings their mouths? Who makes them deaf or mute? Who gives them sight or makes them blind? Is it not I, the Lord? Now go, I will help you speak and will teach you what to say.
God asked Moses to throw his staff to the ground. It turned into a serpent person. As Moses picked the serpent individual up by the tail, it turned back into a wooden staff. Then God covered Moses' hand in sores and cleared them immediately. Moses took his wife, sons, and brother Aaron for his journey to Egypt. He took the staff of God in his hand to speak with Pharaoh. His brother Aaron would be his spokesman. When Moses told Pharaoh to set the Israelites free, the leader refused. Instead, he made the Israelites work harder. God made Moses go to Pharaoh one more time to ask him to release the Israelites, but again Pharaoh refused. So Moses asked Aaron to throw down the staff, which turned into a serpent person. Pharaoh's royal magicians turned their staffs into serpent people, but Aaron's rod swallowed up their rods. God sent Moses to the banks of the river Nile to wait for Pharaoh and his men. When Pharaoh again refused to let the people go, Moses struck the water of the river Nile with his staff as God commanded. Immediately, the water was turned to blood, causing a shortage of water for 7 days. Then, God sent frogs, gnats, and flies, causing skin problems in animal people and humans. Thunder and hail were followed by a great cloud of locusts in the sky, causing darkness to fall upon the land for 3 days. After each plague, Pharaoh agreed to let the Hebrews go, but then changed his mind as his heart grew hard. God already struck the Egyptians with 9 plagues. The 10th and last was the death of the firstborn. God warned the Hebrews to mark their doors to spare their firstborns, while the Egyptians' families lost their eldest children. The Hebrews called that night the Passover. Pharaoh relented and let the Hebrews go, but when he saw that there was no one to build his pyramids, he sent his army to bring the Hebrews back. Welcome to part 2 of a 2-part series entitled Beloved Prophet Moses, Vegetarian, the Divine Redeemer and Messenger of God. Beloved Prophet Moses, Vegetarian, is a sacred figure in several religions, including Judaism, Christianity, Islam, the Baha'i faith, and the Druze faith. He is regarded as a prophet, a leader, and a lawgiver who played a crucial role in the history and development of these Abrahamic religions. After the Israelites had been living in captivity in Egypt for 430 years, Moses was chosen by God to lead them out of bondage and into the promised land Canaan. More than 600,000 children of Israel finally left Egypt, taking their flocks and herds with them. Fleeing in haste, they packed only unleavened bread, for they had no time to allow the dough to rise. As they were leaving, Pharaoh sent his army after the Israelites. God showed the Israelites the way, leading them by day as a column of cloud and as a pillar of fire by night. But the army caught up, trapping them at the edge of the Red Sea. Moses reassured them that God was with them. God told Moses to hold the staff over the sea. Immediately, a big gust of wind blew back the water, leaving a dry path through the sea. The waters formed a wall on their left and on their right, allowing the Hebrews to cross over on dry land. The pursuing Egyptian chariots followed, but their wheels got stuck in the mud, and the sea waters returned, covering up the path. At last, the Israelites were free. They sang and danced, praising God for saving them. The Israelites wandered in the Sinai desert for many weeks, hungry and exhausted. God told Moses to gather the people so they could be provided with food. The next morning, the ground was covered with manna, a kind of bread from heaven. On the 6th day, Moses told the Israelites that they should collect enough food to last for 2 days, as the next day was the Sabbath, a day of rest. When they were thirsty, God told Moses to strike a certain rock with his staff. Cold, pure water gushed out to quench their thirst. After 3 months, the Israelites reached the foot of the holy mountain of Sinai, where they set up their camp. Moses went up the mountain to pray to God, who told him that in 3 days, he himself would speak with the people. On the 3rd day, the sky turned black, followed by thunder and lightning. Fire and smoke erupted like a furnace. The ground shook when God spoke in the thunder. God called Moses to him and gave him the 10 Commandments, tablets of stone that contained laws written with the finger of God that the Israelites were to obey. During a conference in 2021, our most beloved Supreme Master Ching Hai, vegan, told a story about the 10 Commandments.
God told him, thus, "You go back to tell your people these commandments that I will tell you right now. I am the one who took you out of Egypt and freed you from the slavery there. Number 1, you will not worship other deities or God before me. Means God is the only one. They should only worship God. Understand, yeah? Yes. And then the second, you will not make any statues of any of these deities. or similar like that, either within the sky or under the earth, you will not bow down or worship these statues that symbolize those deities. Because I am your God. I am a jealous God. I guess it's just a kind of translation. God is not jealous. If it's a real God, the high God is not jealous. It's just that you should not worship God and lower deities. You see what I'm saying? Yeah?
Yes, Master.
And even making statues out of them to worship them. And that's a no-no. That's idolatry. They call it, right?
Yes, Master.
No good. Number 3, God transmitted the 10 commandments to Moses. Okay? This is a number 3. The third commandment is, you will not call the name of God aloud. Well, we don't, right?
Yes.
After initiation, you repeat the name of God and relate it to God only in silence, and use the tongue of the mind to repeat when you need to, and during meditation. It's the same, right? Remember?
Yes, Master.
So this is a thing that God has even told Moses, I guess, to give him initiation, and then give him these 10 commandments, and whoever has initiation with Moses later on will have to do the same. Keep the commandments and do not recite the names of God or relate it under God to anyone or without any reason.
God told the Israelites, He had chosen them to be a blessing to all the people of the world. He would teach them to live in freedom and gave them His rules for loving Him and loving each other. He prohibited killing, stealing, lying, adultery, and covetousness. In return, the people promised to love Him and obey His rules forever. While Moses, vegetarian, was away on his journey up to Mount Sinai, the Israelites grew restless, so they made a statue of a golden calf and worshipped it. When Moses returned from the mountain and saw what the people had done, he was furious. He threw the tablets with the 10 commandments to the ground and destroyed the golden calf. God was also angry with the Israelites. However, Moses interceded on their behalf and pleaded with God to spare them. Our beloved Master graciously explained this story during a lecture in Costa Rica in 1991.
When God gets angry, how can God get angry with his people?
En la Biblia dice que Dios se puso bravo. ¿Cómo se puede poner Dios bravo?
That is the interpretation of human.
Bueno, esa es una interpretación humana.
When we say God is angry, it means the law of karma is at work.
Cuando nosotros decimos que Dios está bravo, lo que quiere decir es que la ley del karma está trabajando.
And at least the Lord, the God of karma, is angry, not the Almighty.
Por lo menos el Señor del karma está bravo, tal vez no el Todopoderoso, pero el Señor del karma.
Therefore Moses could not enter the promised land, only see it.
Por eso
For
fue
this
que,
reason.
por
His
eso,
own karma came upon him. Is that it?
por
It's
eso,
a collective karma of the
Whole group.
group.
por eso es que Moisés entonces no pudo entrar a la tierra prometida, sino solo verla por su karma. Ella le dice, bueno, por el karma colectivo de todos los judíos.
Because God has helped them through many disasters and showed them many miracles.
Porque Dios,
During their I would say, exodus. Help them, save them, and give them food and drinks, and they never had to worry about anything. But then they disobey God. You see?
porque usted vio durante 40 años que duró el éxodo, ¿verdad? Dios los auxilió y los ayudó y los hizo sobrellevar muchos desastres y les ayudó en todo. Y aún así ellos le desobedecieron. ¿Se da usted cuenta?
And they wanted something opposite to God's order.
Y hicieron algo opuesto a la ley de Dios.
They disobeyed God's commandment.
Desobedecieron los mandamientos de Dios.
Therefore, what they refused, they cannot have it again.
Y entonces lo que rechazaron una vez no podían tenerlo otra vez.
Or at least so have to be considered after a long time.
O por lo menos se podía considerar, pero después de mucho tiempo.
On a fresh set of stone tablets, Moses inscribed the 10 Commandments. At Mount Sinai, Moses entered into a covenant with some of the elders and delivered the laws of God to Israel. God also gave Moses instructions about constructing and transporting the tabernacle, the portable shrine, which was similar to a simple tent sanctuary by which Israelites could travel and meditate in the promised land. Moses and the Hebrews had wandered in the desert for 40 years, and Joshua, vegetarian, served as Moses' assistant during the journey through the wilderness. Towards the end of Moses' earthly life, God told him that he would not be allowed to enter the promised land, but that Joshua would be the one to lead the Israelites into it. Moses then laid his hands on Joshua and commissioned him to be his successor. Moses went up to the top of Mount Nebo to look over the land before him. He passed away at the age of 120. Joshua then became the new leader of the Israelites. He led them across the Jordan River into the promised land, where they faced many challenges and battles. With God's help, Joshua led the Israelites to victory, and they were able to establish themselves in their new home. Throughout the journey, Joshua remained faithful to God and to Moses' teachings, and he continued to lead the Israelites in the ways of the Lord. We humbly thank all merciful God for His eternal blessings and for all the enlightened masters who have selflessly come to our world to guide and liberate our souls.
Vegan, cause we protect the meek.